right, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We are really hopeful you're watching as a Patreon patron. Thank you if you are. If you can't figure out Patreon, or even if you can, please link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. We get paid and you have to renew that. So go to the show description if you haven't done it in a while and renew that. And you can also subscribe on YouTube. You're getting it real time if you do any of those three things. It's okay to be Patreon and Twitch Prime. It's okay to be YouTube and Twitch Prime. Don't do Patreon and YouTube. You're paying us twice, and that's stupid. Today's question from Patreon from Sven Svunt. COVID has led to a massive surge in game sales. Do you think it's permanent, or will sales taper off as the pandemic comes to an end? Will sales ever go back to pre-pandemic levels? There's a bunch of things going on from shelter in place. And obviously the first thing is that the number of hours available for people to play games went up because we're not grooming, we're not dressing, we're not shaving, or driving to work. So, it depends on where you live, but the average commute in the US is 25 minutes. So 50 minutes a day minimum, and add 30 minutes or so for grooming, and add 30 minutes or so for not going out to dinner, ordering in or whatever. And you end up with a couple hours a day of free time. And for many of us, it's more like 3 or 4 hours a day of free time. And, if you spread that free time over all the different activities you were doing, let's just say that 2 hours a day, you're awake, call it 16 hours a day. 2 hours a day is 12% more activity. You're going to play games 12% more. I mean, that's kind of it. And I actually think the number's closer to 20, but because I think we shift more to games. There's only so much Netflix you can watch. And so I think games picked up more like 20, but double-digit increase in engagement. If you buy a Switch and you buy Animal Crossing and you play it 12 hours a week instead of 10 hours a week, you're not paying any more for it. There's nothing to buy. So game sales didn't go up because of COVID on a direct correlation to engagement. In-game purchases did. FIFA Ultimate Team went up. Mobile went up. Call of Duty Warzone went up. Anything free to play or premium game, but then ongoing in-game purchases like Grand Theft Auto Online, all that stuff went up. And so the question is that part permanent? I would say roughly a third of the increase, let's call the increase 20%, and that's probably about right. A third of it, 6%, is from people spending more time playing games, core gamers who are already playing. A third of it is what they call lapsed gamers, people who were playing that particular game a long time ago and quit and came back. They probably were onto something else, but they came back. And then the last third is new gamers who discovered the game and entered the market. I think the first third, the existing gamers spending more time, goes away when we go back to normal. I think the other 2/3, lapsed gamers and new gamers, get cut in half when we go back to normal. So I think the lift is 1/3 permanent. So I'd say 1/3 to 20, so 6 or 7% permanent. I don't think that goes away at all. Then you have to layer in game purchases. And so you did get higher game purchase activity. And part of it is because the Switch sold so well. Part of it is because Activision launched Call of Duty Warzone and it got more people to buy Call of Duty. Is that going to be a recurring thing? No. But if Activision normally sells 25 million of Call of Duty and last year they sold 35 million, what's going to happen this year? They'll sell 30. What's going to happen the next year? They'll sell 28, and then the next year 29, and the next year 30. So it's a permanent lift, just not by that much. And then the other question is, what happens with these new gamers? Are we seeing new models? And I mean, the answer is that Fortnite was, a younger person's game when it started. Clearly, a lot of people playing Fortnite in 2017 were 15 years old, and in 2021, they're 19 years old, and in 2025, they'll be 20-something, and they're going to keep playing. Roblox is bringing in 9 to 11-year-olds, and those guys are going to graduate to Fortnite, and the Fortnite guys are going to graduate to Call of Duty Warzone, and the Warzone guys are going to graduate to Apex, and the Apex guys are going to graduate to whatever the next big thing is. So I think that the game publishers are getting smarter about retaining the audience, training them to try new things, and giving them new experiences. And frankly, I expect Roblox to adapt and grow its audience as well. One way Fortnite's doing it is making it a social network and putting concerts in there and having Party Island and having group chat, house party, and getting people to do different things that they weren't doing before. So honestly, I think that the lift in audience is permanent. The lift in engagement is at least 1/3 permanent. And I think that the new audience is going to allow growth to accelerate. So if the industry is growing 5 to 7% a year, it's probably going to grow 8 to 10% a year for the next several years, but it's good. And again, all this stuff kind of begs the question that we're getting advances in technology, like Fortnite being cross-platform, and by cross-platform, I mean mobile as well as console and PC. I thought when I first saw console and PC cross-platform, it was impressive that you could play the same game and play with other people. When I saw Fortnite on mobile, I mean, Jeremy actually showed it to me. I was like, you're kidding me. This can't possibly be real. And he was on his PC and I was on my phone. And I'm like, oh my God. And I was looking at both screens. I'm like, this is actually doing this. Now we take it for granted. But, Apex hasn't even done mobile yet. Zynga announced Star Wars for mobile and Switch. And they said, we will be on other consoles. Right now, EA has an exclusive on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC for Star Wars. So Zynga can't do it, but they're going to do Switch and mobile first, synchronous cross-platform play. So as you get the opportunity to play a game, even if it's just like harvesting food, on your phone, so then you can play on your PC and then you can feed your troops and do whatever, you're going to do it. So I honestly think this evolution in gameplay is going to result in many, many, many more people playing and spending money. And I frankly think removing tariffs on Chinese goods is going to open China as a market. I think cross-platform is going to get, Switch owners in Japan to try games like Apex Legends. So I think it's actually a big deal. Thanks for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. Thank you for your patronage on Patreon. Thank you for remembering to link your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account. Thank you for subscribing on YouTube. And thank you for following me on Twitter at Michael Pachter. We'll see you next time.